I'm going to talk about what are some of the red flags when you're horse shopping in your assessment of a potential horse that could help you make a decision to either buy or not buy the horse. Now remember, I already did a previous video talking about self-awareness and your own assessment of yourself and your goals and your checklist of things that have value to you as far as what you're looking for in your next equine partner. Hi there, I'm Sam. My horse training business is Alternative Horsemanship with Samantha Harvey. You can find us at learnhorses.com. Something I want you to think about is there are people who are honest in the horse world, and there are people who from a family home are selling the individual horse. This is not their job, this is not their livelihood. But more times than not, many horses that are sold today are sold by professionals. And often it is about the money and not the quality of matching up a horse that's suitable to the person's abilities. And so there are different tactics and different ways that have come up over the years that sellers have developed in order to mask potential unwanted behaviors in horses that later can actually cause a lot of issues. So here are some of the red flags that you might consider when you think about heading out to look at a horse. First, always make sure your appointment is at the beginning of the day. Why? Because often horses have already been ridden, worked, potentially drugged, or many other things that most people don't consider if you wind up heading out to look at that horse in the afternoon. The second thing, make sure you tell whoever's going to show you the horse that you want to see the horse loose in wherever they live, whether it's in a barn stall or whether it's out in a pasture. You want to see what that horse looks like when it's time to catch it, because more often than not, most horses don't want to be caught. Now, is this a deal breaker? It depends on your experience, your knowledge, and your understanding that the horse who has, let's say, 10 years of riding, who doesn't want to be caught, is reflecting a degree of defensiveness. And as you start to peel back the layers, he might be defensive about many more things than just being caught. The next thing you should always look for is, how does that horse feel as it's haltered, as it's led, as it goes out the gate? Is there anxious behavior? Is there excessive movement? Is there anticipation about things? These are all red flags, because you have to remember this horse is in his home environment. So if in his home environment he's already stressed or nervous or fearful or reactive, what will it feel like when you take him home to a new facility? What do you think are some of the potential unwanted scenarios that could come up if he's already currently overwhelmed? Something else you should notice is, where do they tend to tack up the horse or tie the horse? And you want to ask, can they do it somewhere different? Because this will often trigger, in these horses that have learned the pattern, the routine, the expectation, a much more honest reflection as to how the horse feels about change. And many people will buy a horse that seems very calm and quiet in a place he's familiar, take him home, and the horse becomes a completely different personality. So you want to try and change things up, because again, I always tell people, you're not trying to see the best in the horse, you're trying to see who the horse really is, not what has been masked or passed over or patternized in a way that the horse seems to be reasonable but actually is not okay. Something else that you want to watch for is, as the tack is pulled out and nearby to wherever the horse is tied, does the horse start moving or leaning backwards or shifting his weight away from the saddle or the brush or being touched? Does he hold himself in awkward posture, standing with tension, or maybe his head up in the air and his body looks like he's an inflated balloon? If you look at his feet, does he stand balanced and soft and relaxed, or does he look like he's standing on ice with his feet in 4 different directions? So as the current owner is going to tack up, you want to notice the horse's breathing. Do his nostrils suddenly become flared? Does his rib cage look like it expands? Does he look like the association with tack creates tension in the horse? And if it does, and he's already getting tense when the saddle's going on, there could be some physical issues going on. There could be mental anticipation because he's defensive about being ridden. There can be all kinds of things. Again, it's not your job to understand why, it's your job to notice the behaviors that the horse is reflecting about his mental and emotional state based on what is being done with him. Something else, always, 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 always watch the current owner get on and ride the horse before you do. I cannot tell you how many people have called after being put into the hospital because they were trying out the kid-safe, bomb-proof, reliable trail horse that they put their foot in the stirrup and the horse split in two and put them in the hospital. Not even bought the horse, but just trying it out. I recently did a video on horse sales. You go ahead and check that out. It talks about the toxic cycle of passing on horses that are being sold as something, and that's not what they really are. So always make sure you see that horse ridden before you ever get on the horse. And the last thing I want you to remember, and again, I could go on and on, there's a very long list of things, is as you're watching the current rider or owner on the horse in their home environment where they're familiar, notice, is there excessive energy? Is the horse fussy with his head? Is he chomping on the bit? Can he stand still? Does it look like he's being ridden in a certain pattern where everything they do in one direction, they do in the other direction? Notice if after being ridden at maybe the faster gaits, the horse can't stand still anymore. Notice if as the rider is showing you how much the horse can do, that they are masking over, meaning giving you a story. Well, he can't stand still because he's excited. Well, he can't do this because of that. Well, he only does this because of that. And people will often get stuck in the story, which takes away their focus from recognizing what the horse is actually doing. The last piece, if you aren't sure, do not get on. It doesn't matter what the sales pitch is. It doesn't matter what the horse is supposed to be. If you don't feel confident, even if this person has taken time out of their day to show you this horse, even if you've driven 5 hours to go see the horse, please do not get on the horse if you are unsure that you are going to feel confident and safe on it. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. If you like what you saw today, be sure to check out all the links below, as there's a variety of ways to get in touch with me, from the video catalog to locals.com, so you get live stream content and personal one-on-one discussions. My remote horse coaching video catalog has over 165 videos that include rider mindset webinars, understanding horse behavior, improving rider confidence, dealing with the fearful and reactive horse, and many other everyday topics that many equine enthusiasts struggle with. On all social media platforms, be sure to search for me, #AlternativeHorsemanship. Again, all of the links are below in this video description and in the pinned comment. Be sure to leave me a message as to what you'd like to see as far as future topics.